Hello and welcome to a squad building video. That's right, today we are building a squad. What for? Well, if you read the title, you know it's for Frontier Hunter, so... yeah, Frontier Hunter! So, why are we building a squad for Frontier Hunter? At the time of this video going up, it's not for another few weeks. Because for the last Frontier Hunter, I got asked so many times to help build a squad. I'm just like, you know what? Let's teach you guys how to build a squad. So that's what we're doing today. So, the next Frontier Hunter to come up at the time of this video is going to be where we use dark units, because we are fighting in light units. So, let us go into our Manage Squad tab, go to a dark squad, and we're going to take this nearly blank squad and turn it into the optimal squad for us. Well, minus using Nagato. I want to be fair for you guys. I want to build a squad that you guys can use without using collaboration units. If you have Nagato, I'm going to tell you this right now, he is going to be the star of the squad. But if you don't have Nagato, this squad will work just as well for you. So, start off, we want to have a good leading unit. You're going to want several kinds of units. So, you're going to want a good leading units, because a good lead unit will help you deal more damage, and help you just, you know, use your squad more properly. You want to have the following buffs. You want to have BC on Spark. You want to have Spark damage boost, crit damage boost, damage weakness damage boost, EWD. You want to have extra action on UBB. And you want to have chance for recast on someone's SPB. You want all those buffs, and I can guarantee you can get that with every single squad if you try hard enough. Or if you have the right units, rather. So let's start off with the most important, probably like the second most important unit of the squad, the leading units. So the buffs you want on your leading units are going to be, you definitely want to, for Frontier Hunters specifically, you want to prioritize elemental weakness damage or boost elemental damage. You want that over the other boosts because you get scored on how much elemental damage you deal. So the more you deal, the higher score. That's how it works. The other buffs you may want are Spark damage boost, because you cannot, like with elemental weakness damage boost, EWD. Spark damage cannot cap. Crit damage you may also want to go for if you can. If you don't have access to Spark and EWD, EWD and crit also works just as nicely. Crit does have a cap, but the more crit damage you're dealing, well, the more damage you're dealing, it's more score. BC on Spark on LS, if you don't have other units to provide that on their kit, is another good option to have on their leader skill. And BC cost reduction is also very nice, in case you already have BC on Spark, but you want to have just less BC needed to actually get your Braper stages going. So, let's look at my units, because sadly there's no page on the wiki that lists units, that lists elemental damage boosts on LS. You just have it through like BB, SPB, UBB. There's no page for LS, so for leader skill. But I know some of these units off the top of my head. I know that Set is a good option. Set has both Spark and EWD on her LS. Luro's the best option here. He has a higher Spark and EWD on LS. One of those is added through enhancements, so keep that in mind. Just like go through your units, see who provides elemental weakness damage boost, or boost dark damage in this case, on their leader skill, and or dark elemental damage, where it's phrased as. And I think for this one, I'm going to go with Luro, so yes, dark elemental damage is how it's listed right there. I'm going to go for Luro for my lead, because he's just the best dark lead in general, providing both Spark and EWD, as well as having a triple attacking SPB with doubled AoE. Sid is also not a bad option. She does also have a triple attacking SPB. But one of those, she has doubled AoE, and then a random combo. So the random combo makes it a little bit harder to Spark, compared to like doubled AoE and single targeting, but still not a bad option. So we have our leader picked out. Let's see what he provides on his SPB, see if we have any more of our kits needed on his SPB. He provides Spark damage boost for Dark, so this isn't generic Spark damage boost, this is specifically for Dark. This stacks with generic Spark damage boost, so if you see something like boost Spark damage and then in parentheses Dark, or boost Spark damage for Dark types, or Dark units, that stacks with boosts spark damage boost, with no element listed after it. So you can get even more spark damage boost if you pair him up with a unit who provides it on SPB as well, generic spark damage. It also stacks with, both of those stack with own spark damage boost. So Luro himself is going to deal a lot of spark damage, having a lot for himself. So he has spark damage boost. Let's check his enhancements, see what he has here. Added to SPB specifically. Boosts dark elemental damage. So we have dark elemental damage covered already, so we don't need to worry about that. Luro provides it, but if you want a good place to go to find units who provide elemental damage boosts, we just go to this screen right here, go to the wiki, and list of units with elemental effects. Oh hey, it does just, I was wrong. So hey, if you need elemental damage on illness, just elemental effects, you scroll down, and you will see, yes, Duel is an option here. I was wrong. Okay, I like finding out I'm wrong in videos. So hey, here we go. BB, SBB, UBB. This is what we're looking for. So if you need like to know what units provide elemental weakness damage through BB, SBB, this is another good place to go to. Typically you want to use units of the same element. Why do I not see? Oh, okay. So it has a listen. Okay, this is why I got confused, because I did not read. Dark elemental damage. This is what we're looking for right here. So yeah, Suncut says provides it like EWD for all elements. So this is what we're looking for. Noel, Vohu, Ezra, Kirk, Luro, Kado, and all of these units provide dark EWD. That's what you want. So Luro, we know already provides it. He provides 250%, which is the highest of any unit. So there we go. Next up, we want generic spark damage boost. So we're going to look for list of units with spark effects. Spark damage, just pure spark damage. And by going through here, we can see what units provide it. Set provides it, so if you have Set, you get spark damage through her SPB. Legato provides it, and this is why I'm not going to worry about spark damage on my squad itself, because I'm going to take a Legato friend with me. Legato is going to be like the pivotal unit here, and I'll get to that here in a bit. So we're going to keep Legato in mind. Kratos provides it. If you have Acnologia, another good unit. But again, Legato is going to be your go-to here. Zinnia is good. Hadron. Yeah, all of these units provide spark damage boosts. But Legato provides it on SPB, so we're not going to worry about it. We're pretty much set right there. And while we're here, we're also going to look at BC, Fill, and Spark to see what units provide it here. Again, we are looking for dark units, as dark units do have an advantage over light. So we'll just scroll through until we find a dark unit. As you can see, dark has a bit of a problem with BC and Spark. Like, the best unit to go to, in my opinion, is Vohu, who has it added to SPB. So I have Vohu myself. So I'm going to put Vohu on the squad for myself. Although, like, you want to go for SPBs over regular Brave Bursts for BC on Spark. Or if you have it on LS through Duel, you're pretty much set right there. But if you don't have a Duel for BC on Spark, it's okay to use Vohu, or you can use other. You can use Brave Burst. You can use other units for SPBs. I'm going with Vohu because I like Vohu, and I have him. So why not? Just go through this page, find out who has it. BC on Spark. Entitalia is actually not a bad option here. So yeah. Theodore is also not a bad option. You can get him literally for free through Seasons Pass, so that's pretty nice. So what about crit damage? Who has crit damage boost? So list of units with critical effects. And again, we are looking for dark units, so we are going for Noxa. Vanessa is also a good option if you got Vanessa. Definitely go for her over Noxa in this case, because actually there's no reason not to. You can go for Noxa or Vanessa. I guess Noel's an option. Nico's an option. Nico has crit damage boost, so yeah, you have several options for dark for critical damage on dark units. I'm going for Noxa because I really like Noxa, so here's a Noxa. So let's see. Just to reiterate, we have our leader unit. We have elemental weakness damage to Luro. We have BC on Spark through Vohu. We have critical damage through Noxa. Spark damage will be taken care of with our friend unit. And let's see, recast. Chance for recast. Both Vohu and Noxa have that on SBB. So we are set right there, which means these last two slots can pretty much go to like whatever we want. So I'm going to go for another Noxa. And I'm going to go for a Liko here. We're going to change positions so our squad looks like this. And this is going to be the squad I'm going to test out at some training ground to prove my point. So, as mentioned, Liko does provide some other buffs we want. I think she also provides elemental weakness damage as well as critical damage. So, but she provides like a lesser amount compared to the other ones, so we want her to go closer to first. So, let's go into Frontier. None of my units have spheres, because I will talk about spheres towards the end of this in a bit. And here's a Legato friend right here. We're going to take this Legato friend. He has Master of the Hunt. I already checked this out beforehand. So now we're just going. I'm going to switch screens. Back to this one. So, what you want to do when you go into Frontier Hunter is for the first battle, you want to make sure that your auto battle settings are set to everyone's guarding. And you just hit auto, and you set like this for 20 turns. And during this time, I'm going to talk about spheres. So, what spheres do you want? You want primarily spheres that boost elemental weakness damage and spark damage. You may also want to have somewhere on your units 2 spheres that fill the overdrive gauge. So Vrana's Calling, Christus Omega, Vesper Argentum, and the Punisher. The Punisher is an event sphere, so if you don't have it, don't worry about it. If you have 2 of the other 3 spheres, 2 of them are like, I think all of them are free actually. So all of them are free. You just go through, you get other spheres, you just get tokens, whatever. Get the spheres, and it's super easy. Vrana's Calling is probably the easiest. You just do raids. I made a video on that. Go watch that video. But yeah, so put 2 of those spheres on 2 of your units, probably 2 different units, and then you're good. Because you're going to want to make sure the overdrive gauge gets filled back up at the end of every turn. So now that we have the overdrive gauge filled up after 20 turns, we overdrive Legato here. And this Legato doesn't have 0 BC going on for him. Some do. Once you overdrive Legato, he might have his UBB instantly filled up. That's good. It saves you the next step that I'm showing right here. You just guard from 2 more turns. In this case, 2 more turns. Until you get the overdrive gauge, or the UBB gauge for Legato filled back up. That's how many turns you want to sit down and guard. But once it's filled up, you want to make sure that your loadout looks like this. Everyone's on SBB. As I mentioned here, I want Liko to go closer to first for buffs. So let's do boop, 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 boop. That should work just nicely. Hit save, hit yes. Now for frame today, you want to make sure that both of these gauges are at 0. So that way your units will go like one after another with no delay. So now that this is set to 0, all these are set into the proper order I want myself. Hit save, hit yes, hit back, hit back. Another tip I'm going to show you guys, if you go into menu, go into settings, you want to make sure that you have Braver's Cut-ins turned off. It's turned on by default, but if you turn that off, it will make your squads more consistent with damage. And maybe turn off battle effects as well, just so that way the game doesn't lag as much. With that out of the way, what you want to do is you want to manually UBB Legato, and then hit auto as quick as you can. So, boop, boop. And you want to make sure that you stay on auto until the extra action goes through. So with this squad, the way it's set up, Legato has chance for recast, 80% chance on UBB through Master of the Hunt, extra action guaranteed through his enhancements added to UBB. So you get recast thanks to the Nox in this case, so Nox or Vohu, either one, both of them, on top of the Master of the Hunt. Extra action goes through, so you get in total 22 Super Brave Bursts and 2 Ultimate Brave Bursts all in one turn for a massive amount of damage. And this is how you get massive scores. And as you can see, my overdrive gauge is filled back up after doing all of that. So I'm good to go for the next wave. I don't need to guard for the first 22 turns of the next wave. I can just UBB Legato, guard for 2 turns, and then just repeats. It's the first bit that takes the longest, the first set of enemies that takes the longest, because you need to wait for 20 turns. But once you're done with that, it's just like you go on and go on. And yeah, big damage, big sparks. That's 1600 sparks right there. So yes, that's everything. To recap, you want a good leading units, one with preferably Spark and EWD. BC on Spark, if you don't have it anywhere else in the squad, is also a good idea. Or BC cost reduction. You want to have units with Spark damage boost, crit damage boost, element weakness damage boosts. If you don't have BC on Spark through LS, BC on Spark through SBB, preferably SBB. If not, BB works just fine, but it's not as optimal. You also want to have recast and a unit with extra action on UBB with Master of the Hunt. And the reason why we want Master of the Hunt is, if we just examine the Legato right here. Master of the Hunt. What it does is it boosts BB gauge when guarding for allies. This works really well for guarding for 20 turns, because everyone's SBB gauge is going to be completely filled up by the end of the 20 turns. And you guard for 20 turns to fill up the overdrive gauge without knocking out any enemies. That way you can just UBB. Also, chance for recast added to UBB on an Elgif. That's really great. And with all that, you should get some pretty good scores. And that about does it. So if you liked the video, leave a like down below if you thought it was useful. Any questions, leave a comment down below. Links in the description down below to our Patreon, our Twitter page, and our Discord. Patreon supports us, Twitter to find out when videos go live, Discord to talk to us, to get help with various quests, with more stuff like this, and all that. And with that, thank you guys once again for visiting the Grand Guy Library. See you guys in the next one. Bye!